Hello and welcome to the Hot Dog and a Handshake Pro Wrestling Show, coming to you from Sound Peak Audio and Design in Topeka, Kansas. I'm your host, Jayden Gensweider. Joining me is my co-host, Shane Price. Shane, how you doing this week?
All right, I guess.
All right, Shane back this week after a 1 week absence. So for our caller number question today, this week during a Reddit Ask Me Anything AMA, Drew McIntyre was asked if he could build an Evolution-style stable right now with himself. Who would he put in the stable? He put in, I know Sheamus was involved. Where was the answer? Oh, Sheamus, Obafemi, and Braun Breaker. Those were the three he picked. So I asked you, we're going to put together a stable. You have to have a leader, a top card guy right now, a vet, which was your Ric Flair role, the young gun, which is your Randy Orton role, and then the beast, which is Batista. And, of course, the leader was Triple H. So do you have yours?
I can put it fully together. I got a few of them.
Okay, I mean, I
you
have
told
mine.
me to think about it. I'm like, I can't think of some of these roles, but I want to hear you.
Okay. So for my leader, I'm going Bobby Lashley. And for the vet, obvious setup, MVP. Right? Keep them together. For my young gun, the guy that I want to break out of this stable, I'm going to put them with Michael Oku. And then for my beast, I'm going with the Beast Mortos.
I mean, he is the beast.
He's a beast.
He's the
right?
beast.
He's the beast. I just couldn't think of another powerhouse that's like not quite established yet, because that's like Batista had been on TV but wasn't quite established when he joined Evolution. So I went the Beast Mortos.
So for my leader, I think I'm gonna go with WWE here. I'm just gonna choose Randy Orton.
Okay.
You know, I'll make Evolution again. So Randy's gonna be my top guy.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Randy could almost be your vet, but I think he's way better now than Ric Flair was then.
Yeah, he kind of fits the Triple H role.
Yeah, he does. No, he does. I agree.
So for my vet, I would like to pick Triple H, but now that he's become like Paul Levesque, kind of can't. Yeah. So instead, I'm trying to think of the vets that we have. They're kind of
they're kind of low on vets because it's just been. I mean, a lot of guys retiring, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna call somebody a Legends deal, so I will get back to that.
Yeah.
So my future star, I feel like an NXT champion is kind of too like. They're already pretty much like established there.
Mm-hmm.
They're all that. I want to go Tavion Heights. He had an awesome showing in his little excursion in Noah.
Mm-hmm.
He's come back to NXT. He really deserves to be that big type guy. And Powerhouse is tough because they really have any powerhouses that aren't really well known. Like Obafemi is already well known.
Bronson Reed's already
well known.
Already kind of established.
So I want to go with a guy from the Indies to sign to build into this Batista type guy. Mm-hmm. Give me Shane Mercer as the Batista.
Now, is this going to be a heel faction?
Yes. Probably be a heel. I don't know. Tavion kind of is in the middle of like he'll be that Randy.
Well, because I was trying to think of a vet, and Rey Mysterio came to mind, but you can't turn him heel.
I'm thinking like that would be like like.
I'm trying to think of what a vet. Carlito, you want him as your vet?
Yeah, I mean he's one of them. Can we bring back Can we bring back Steve Blackman? He'll be the vet. Just beat
Ken Shamrock.
Just beat the crap out of people and stuff.
What about Nick Aldis?
That'd be a good one. But since he's a GM, I kind of want to stay away from like the GM and stuff. I'm gonna go.
That's true. Robert Roode.
Yeah, I thought Robert Roode.
Bobby Roode would be a good one.
He's got that heel pedigree. He's not gonna wrestle. He'll be the.
I mean, he could wrestle a little bit. I don't know. What about Titus O'Neil?
No.
I'm just looking.
You can't turn Titus heel.
What about Wade Barrett?
I think I'd prefer Nick Aldis to Wade Barrett.
I think I'd prefer Nick Aldis also. I'm just throwing out ideas based on who's here. Yeah.
15-year Legends deal member Godfather.
Yeah, or Armando Alejandro Estrada.
you gotta say it right. You gotta do. My vet's gonna be Armando Alejandro Estrada.
Yeah. Moving on to the news this week, starting in AEW. Just got one piece of news here. Not really news, more just kind of a celebration here. Athena is officially the longest reigning champion in Ring of Honor history. So any title, she is now the longest reigning champion. So congrats to Athena.
Congrats to her. Tony Khan, Ring of Honor, kind of. I mean,
not really. Yes, it's not.
It's kind of saw this coming.
But really, we got to get her on like real TV, man. What are we doing? People have been wanting this for far too long. You got to have a spot for her. I don't know.
I think like the casual
if you have a
fans
spot for
forgot about her.
Saraya, you should have a spot for Athena.
Well, but Saraya brings in the money, and all press is good press of her boyfriend. So
yeah. Speaking of press, though, the big thing that has been talked about this week, moving over to WWE, is the signing of Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, the Motor City Machine Guns, as our resident TNA expert. What does this mean to you, Shane?
Good. I'm glad I have that title. Honestly, I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to look it up to be sure. One of the bonus matches that the TNA Impact game had was there's a women's like weird battle royal match, but then there was also a tag team match that was like Sanjay Dutt and somebody, but the MCMG was in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being just in awe of what they were doing in that match and just being really excited. It was like the Ultimate X, I think, match for like a bunch of X-Division guys. So they were both in there. They were teaming up. They were really excited. I'm like, I like these guys. And I started watching TNA a bit after that, and I was even more wowed by it. So these guys, they finally have gotten to the point they should have been 15 years ago, probably. So, but like even by the time the TNA Impact game came out,
they've gone on. They've done stuff in Ring of Honor, New Japan, all over the world.
If there's a promotion, they've probably been independent it more likely. That's
other than WWE up until
this point, yeah.
So it looks like from everything that we've been reading this week, they will be going to NXT.
That's fine to me.
Nathan Frazier already on social media kind of teasing that match because I think it really. We were trying to do this on the way here. The only tag teams we could name from NXT off the top of our heads were Fraxium and the D'Angelo family.
Yeah. So
you know what I mean? It took us a while to think of a third. You know what I mean? So it's I think Fraxium is the big match here, and really this is going to be some named guys on the CW premiere.
I don't think they stay in NXT long.
They shouldn't.
But I probably do see them remaining there till they retire. That's my thing.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, it's a good place to go for that because then you could take the path of one of their famous adversaries, Bobby Roode,
right,
and become a producer from there, or you could take the path of
Carino,
or like
Smiley,
Shawn Michaels, the guys who go into training down at the Performance Center. So I mean, that's two hitters to be on your training staff if that's where they go.
Let's just discuss the WWE training staff already.
Yeah,
it is already loaded.
It's
There's a reason why all of these athletes that are coming to are good now. It's because they got Norman Smiley, Steve Carino, maybe MCMG later.
Yeah, Alex Shelley as the is he a physical therapist on the side?
I think so.
Yeah, as the Performance Center official physical therapist. Chris Sabin teaching everybody how to do flips. I don't know. I think it'll be great. I'm excited to see where they go. And then, of course, if they get up to WWE, a match with the New Day.
New Day.
Awesome.
There's, I think, some history there. There's a history there of DIY, but Consequences Creed, I think, faced MCMG a little bit.
Probably. There's potentially could have been some crossover with Ciampa and MCMG and Ring of Honor. Might be kind of tight, but I'm not sure. But there's just guys at WWE who, I feel like Motor City Machine Guns and New Day is kind of a big that's one of the big tag teams of the 2010s at WWE versus one of the big tag teams of that era outside of WWE. So we'll see where that goes. Other news, just some smaller things here. Raw will be moving to 2 hours until the Netflix deal, which it should just be 2 hours permanently. 3 hours is too long for weekly TV wrestling. Like, it's just so long. Shayna Baszler has re-signed with WWE, so that's pretty good.
That's a
Good signing. Yep. And in another example of wrestling couples that I didn't know were together until the engagement announcement, Lyra Valkyria and LJ Cleary got engaged. Had no
What's
idea.
that? That's 2 weeks in a row I've been on this podcast where it's been like, oh, you didn't know these two people were together.
What was the last one?
Killer Kelly Myron Reed.
Oh yeah, Killer Kelly Myron Reed.
Which
I had no
apparently
idea about
nobody
that.
knew until but me. So,
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't know. Did you know about this?
No.
Lyra
I
and
did
LJ
not.
Cleary? Yeah. LJ Cleary of Pro Wrestling Noah. He's in GLG, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. And of course Lyra Valkyria of Monday Night Raw.
Clearly a good looking guy.
Clearly. So, and then in other wrestling company news, Toni Storm will challenge Mayu Iwatani for the IWGP Women's title at a Stardom event on October 5th. Who do you think should walk away with the title?
Not Tony, because that's just gonna lock the title into AEW for a little bit. That's my
Not
issue with it.
necessarily. Tony could kind of take a break away from AEW and then make a big return to confront Mariah May later on. This could be something where Tony holds the title from October 5th to January 5th at Wrestle Dynasty, that big Tokyo Dome super cross promotion show they're doing. So
That could happen, yeah.
I mean, I would say don't completely rule out Tony here. In other Stardom news, Walker Stewart, the English announcer, the English play-by-play commentator for New Japan, will be the Stardom play-by-play commentator moving forward. So for English commentary. And in some crazy news, Ricochet will team with Shima against El Hijo del Vikingo and Soma Watanabe at an October Glee event.
As if Nakajima wasn't enough, may I say? As if Katsuhiko Nakajima wasn't enough. You top that by getting El Hijo del Vikingo
And Ricochet.
and then you put him in a match of Shima and who's Vikingo team?
Soma Watanabe. I don't know who that is.
I think we gotta start watching Glee.
We might.
We might have to.
Gotta try to at least find that match.
Wrestle Universe.
Is on Wrestle Universe?
Yep.
Okay. Jake Lee sidelined with a foot injury. So obviously there's no.
He just signed up being.
I'm about to say there's no good timing for an injury, but very unfortunate timing that he just signed with New Japan and immediately got injured. So I had to say that it didn't seem like it's going to be a major foot injury. It might just be like a month out or something, but still, injury's an injury. It all sucks. And Kurt Angle and Mick Foley to appear in GCW at GCW Dream On. It's in Washington, D.C., right?
No, it is in the American Dream Mall in New York.
Oh, okay, it's in New York, but that's why it's all American themed.
Yes.
That's what got me confused.
It's in the Meadowlands.
Yeah.
East of the Rutherford.
So, what are you're the GCW guy here? What are your thoughts?
This is I think the craziest timeline. So Mick and Kurt are on Legends deals, and these Legend deals that they're on, these ones specifically, limit their appearances of other promotions.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me maybe like 5 years ago that GCW, the light tube throwing, syringe spot having, death match holding, Joey Janela, who's at this point signed of AEW, they'd be working with AEW in this situation, I would laugh at you.
Mm-hmm.
But this is, I think, the peak of their partnership is getting Kurt Angle and Foley.
Yeah.
Who?
Well, what's also interesting about this isn't a Bloodsport event. The other WWE, GCW involvements have all been Bloodsport. So this is the first time we're getting a GCW, WWE, as far as I know.
You're right.
Yeah, so this is the first time we're getting any kind of crossover that's not Bloodsport.
I'm just thinking this how they're gonna build this. They're gonna build to an event somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they skip St. Louis with the build and they bring it to the MGI, which should make a lot of sense. But
Kurt Angle, who knows what he'll be doing, right? But Mick Foley has said pretty recently that he wants to have one more death match. Like, he wants to have one more match and I think the match would be Matt Cardona.
No, I disagree. Unless they're brave enough to have Matt Cardona win the NGI.
The Nick Gage Invitational? Yeah.
Unless Cardona agrees, I think what it's going to be is announced maybe next month. If not, in St. Louis at that. First of all, Mick Foley in St. Louis, I'll lose my mind.
That'd be crazy.
I think what's going to happen is they're going to announce that the winner of the Nick Gage Invitational is going to face Mick Foley in the Last Dance.
His last match, yeah. All right. A couple of news hits here from the CMLL 91 anniversary, the 91st anniversary of the CMLL company. First, Willow Nightingale dropped the women's title to Zeuxis. Is that how you pronounce that?
I think so.
And then the big thing, Mystico defeats Jericho in a 2 out of 3 falls match. But if you watch AEW Collision this week, what would you think of that match?
Oh, jeez. Tony Schiavone, while they were playing clips of the match, lied out of his ass and said Jericho won the match.
Yes, and they showed the clip of the one. I'm assuming the one fall he did win.
Yes,
I would guess he won either the first or second fall. I didn't watch the match. He won either the first or second fall with the Walls of Jericho.
He said he won the third fall at the Walls of Jericho. I'm like, what match did Tony Schiavone watch? Like, did he just quit after Jericho?
This was obviously intentional. Real low ball move by AEW.
I mean, the best possible scenario is Mystico gets a program on AEW. Sadly, Chris Jericho. Worst possible scenario, CMLL pulls out.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I feel like I feel like this should be talked about more. Like, they straight up lied about the main event of a partner promotions show to say that their guy will. This is like
against their top guy.
This is like some WCW stuff.
This is
like if they had like Stan Hansen beat Hogan in a WCW NJPW crossover, and then WCW came on TV and said that Hogan won and Stan Hansen lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, because it is. It's practically the same thing, and the funny part is, both situations, Tony Schiavone would be the one doing it.
Yeah, that is funny. I didn't even mean to draw that parallel, but yeah. In some TNA Victory Road news, unfortunately, Steph DeLander announced...
What's going on?
Unfortunately, TNA is happening. No, but unfortunately, Steph DeLander announced that she has to have neck surgery, so she will be out 6 to 10 months, is what they said.
Also throws a curveball in GCW, too, because they're still building that deathmatch royalty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So now 2 out of the 3 members of that stable have had to have extended times of not being able to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Cardona was out the pec. Steph's out the neck.
Mm-hmm. Just what's going to happen to Jim? Who's the other guy?
What's going to happen
Jimmy
to
Lloyd?
Jimmy Lloyd?
What's
going to happen to Jimmy Lloyd? He better get out while he still can.
Yeah. Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers regained the TNA Tag Team titles. Title change there.
I'm just not a fan of that team.
Yeah, it doesn't click with me. But more importantly and weirdly, Mike Bailey beats Zachary Wentz for the X Division title. So they really only put the X Division title on Wentz so he could show up with it at No Mercy, and then immediately took it off of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel bad for what's going to happen to Mike Bailey come deadline.
So either he shows up or he loses that belt again.
Yeah. That's wow. I can't believe that. It's such a... TNA has just accepted that they are the feeder to WWE's feeder. Like, they are now AA baseball for WWE.
Well, the best part is, depending on how it goes, they might be single A next to coming soon if they keep, failing and failing. Like, in a crackpot scenario here, could realistically GCW, who does like weekend events, not TV, not pay-per-view, not TV, weekend events, could we start to see more NXT on that?
It's not impossible.
Because my thing is, that would help them more than TNA would, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you're learning that indie style that a lot of the main roster is doing.
There's a chance that we get Charlie Dempsey versus Kurt Angle on the GCW show.
Not the one in St. Louis.
but potentially the one.
Potentially one in New Jersey. I don't think it's gonna be that.
I don't think Kurt Angle's ever wrestling again. I think it's just gonna be an appearance.
Or
Maybe he'll be like the special ref for a match or something.
Could be.
But yeah, that could be where they end up. But right now they are the feeder promotion for the developmental brand. Really, it's what they are. So I don't know. We'll just have to see how that goes. But I can't like understand anyone looking at this in any kind of unbiased way and thinking this is good for TNA.
Yeah,
because like they're definitely not gaining viewers. Maybe they're getting a small bump in viewership.
Well,
but they're gaining viewership.
You know what? You'll have heard more about TNA in the past few months than I ever have before, since they went to Four Sides.
I guess, yeah, that's true. But also, all of their most over stars are just obviously setting themselves up to go to NXT when their TNA contracts are over.
Yeah.
And everybody else in their company is working with Maple Leaf Pro so they can keep the AEW door open. Like, it's...
I don't know. TNA is in between a rock and a hard place, so...
they're not even... That's better than their situation. TNA is just, like... in a swamp.
TNA is in the...
They're just in the sludge.
Endless hole that Ozzie Smith fell in The Simpsons.
Yeah. On to what we saw on TV this week. Starting with Dynamite, we got Mariah May saying that she can't have her championship celebration until Mina Shirakawa is there. What do you think that this is setting something up between them? What are your thoughts?
I think... We're going to see that happen. I think Mina's going to be angry at her for how she's been acting and not offer her a kiss, and she'll lose her mind, and when she turns her back, she'll clothesline her.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Think we could be looking at Wrestle Dream coming up next month. Women's title match for that. I think it would make sense for Wrestle Dream of any pay-per-view to have more Japanese influence, since it's kind of an event made in honor of Antonio Inoki.
Yeah. So
having it be kind of Forbidden Door light.
Yeah, I can see that.
With Mina Shirakawa showing up, I don't know. We could see. We'll see where that goes. And then we had a tag team Casino Gauntlet, which, of course, because it's a Casino Gauntlet, was a lot of fun. But the real conversation here has been about the winners of said gauntlet. It was won by Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, formerly of the United Empire. So they have some history there. But I don't know. What did you think of this? What did you think of the booking decision, really?
Bad.
Yeah.
But I haven't liked anything that the tag team division has really done in a while.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I was thinking about this with, just not just with AEW, with kind of WWE too. Feels like the tag team divisions are just not in good places right now. They're just not being well booked.
They're not.
And that's a staple of WWE booking, so I expect that from them. But really, AEW was like, part of their early identity was this is the tag team. Like, we're going to build a tag team division. Tag team wrestling is going to matter
this
here.
This is the alternative. We're going to do everything they're not doing. And
this is where we're going to have the Bucks and
SCU
like that. And Kenny and Hangman and like and we're going to bring in FTR and all this stuff. And just for anyone who may be interested, the competitors in this match were FTR, Ospreay and Fletcher, The Righteous, who were sort of over. People were behind The Righteous. The Kingdom, The Acclaimed, MXM Collection, Top Flight, The Outrunners, and the Grizzled Young Veterans.
The youngest boys alive, yeah.
Yeah. Who do you think should have won this?
Between the Outrunners and oh god, who else was in it again? I forgot.
So FTR and Grizzled Young Veterans kind of took each other out of the match.
Yeah, so they shouldn't have won it either way because they have a match cut out themselves.
So then you have the Righteous, the Kingdom, the Acclaimed, MXM, Top Flight, and the Outrunners.
Well, I guess.
I think it's one of those last two teams.
The Outrunners, I guess.
Top Flight would have been awesome too.
On 9/11.
I forgot. That's the date this show took place.
You're going to have the airplane team win on 9/11?
Yeah, I guess you can't do that. So it should have been the Outrunners,
Yes.
the youngest men alive.
Yes, the youngest men alive.
And I think they are seen as a comedic duo.
But they move merch.
They move merch. And for one, like, they aren't terrible in the ring. I'm not going to go out there and say that they're the world's greatest tag team. You know what I mean?
Gosh, they should have won the match.
The world's greatest tag team should have won the match. Yeah, Charlie Haas. Wrestling's greatest tag team, Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. Actually, this is completely unrelated. But later on, when we talk about Raw, when I went to write down that the Wyatt Six defeat American Made, I accidentally wrote the Wyatt Six defeat Team Angle.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
Now book that for GCW. Give me Shelton Benjamin and Kurt Angle in his corner.
Yeah. So yeah, I really think it could be the Outrunners because they could have had a competitive match with the Young Bucks if the Young Bucks ultimately win.
It'd be the first Young Bucks match I've been looking forward to in a while.
Yeah. And it would spice up the division. It would create a new tag team star, you know, like a new star team. So I don't know. I just ultimately feel like it was the wrong decision, and we just can't keep having Ospreay win all these. You know what I mean? Like Ospreay's great.
Yeah,
Everybody
just
loves
wait.
Ospreay.
Just wait for the women's one. He'll win that one too.
He'll win the women's one. Yeah, Willa Ospreay.
It shouldn't be like a Santina thing. It should just be he enters it because it's like a Casino Battle Royal.
Yeah.
It's like, oi, I win those. I'm gonna do it again. And he just enters it and pins whoever in the ring.
Just hidden blade Yuka Sakazaki's head off. And pins her. Speaking of Yuka Sakazaki, we saw her on Collision. She defeated Serena Deeb and then kind of got into a little brawl with Mariah May. So there's another option for Mariah May's future challengers. And I think I kind of I thought Yuka Sakazaki's segment with Mariah May, the interview before, where she was just like completely optimistic and like not even acknowledging that Mariah May was like threatening her, was really funny.
It was.
So just her being unaware of the situation and just wanting to be champion is really fun, and I think that could be a great match we could have down the road. And then Wheeler Yuta put on just an Oscar-worthy performance. Get Wheeler Yuta in the best supporting actor category, because he, like, the way he was all not really choked up, but just kind of distracted and out of it in his interview talking about Danielson, and then he gets to the ring and like Nigel points out like he forgot to tape his wrists, and then he just kind of is wrestling distracted and ultimately loses his match against Anthony Henry. What'd you think of Yuta on Collision?
Well, I mean, a long time for me, Yuta's kind of just been like the mid guy in the BCC.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really interested to see where they go from this. I'm a little concerned that it's not going to end up well.
But it's real character development.
It is.
It
is. It's that, and that's one of the things he was missing.
He's not like this. Hey,
he felt like he was just there.
It's not like
in the BCC.
We are the BCC, and this is the kid we beat up.
And this is the kid that we abuse. Finally has him in a chokehold the entire time.
I mean, I think at one point we jokingly pitched a segment where like Moxley is cutting a promo and Claudio's just beating the hell out of Yuta in the background.
Legitimately, they should just do that now.
Yeah.
They should just do that now because they're Trios champions.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see where that goes and see the future of the Trios titles. And ultimately, I think the only correct way for this to end is for the conglomeration to have the Trios titles.
Yeah, probably.
Kyle O'Reilly,
I would
Orange
agree.
Cassidy, and Mark Briscoe. Or Kyle O'Reilly, Hologram, and Mark Briscoe.
Either way.
Get Hologram officially in the conglomeration.
Do you know Yuta's music
Which, by
taste?
the way, did you see the thing where AEW trademarked L Clone?
No, I did not.
They did. And the running theory is that is going to be some other
Hologram's arch nemesis.
Some other luchador is going to play Hologram's arch nemesis.
God, that rules.
L Clone.
God, that rules.
Maybe I think somebody took just Hologram's roster photo and just made it black and white and was like, "This is El Clone."
I love
El Clone is hologram, but he wears black.
I love Lucha. I love Lucha Libre
that
so
would
much.
be so much fun. And we got Hologram, Mark Briscoe, and Kyle O'Reilly versus the Premier Athletes and Beast Mortos. And the Hologram Beast Mortos parts of that match were really awesome. Like
Yeah.
that needs to be a singles match on Collision this week.
I agree.
Because those are the two guys who really emerged out of the Collision residency in Arlington. And I think that would be a really, really fun match putting those two together.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to see what El Clone is all about and who it'll be. I mean,
We're probably not going to know him. That'll be the best part.
yeah.
Because you didn't really know Hologram before.
Exactly. It was because it was a Ramos from
Yeah.
AAA. What is this going to be, like Laredo Kid? Is El Clone now?
Have you met El Hijo?
It's Jeff Jarrett.
You know what? You know what?
Former AAA World
You
Champion.
know
Jeff
what?
Jarrett.
That would be a very funny bit. Is having Jeff Jarrett be a luchador for like a match.
Yeah. Moving on to WWE TV, starting on Raw. Like I said, we had the Wyatt Six defeat Team Angle. American made Chad Gable, the Creeds, and Ivy Nile. What did you think of the 8-person mixed street fight?
I gotta say, I'm still really impressed by the White Six.
I thought it was pretty good.
Terrible name.
I love.
I'm gonna call them the White Six, but it's whatever.
I loved the Uncle Howdy just like chilling until he was like, "All right, now it's time for me to get involved." And
Yeah,
he just gets in and ends the match.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I am really impressed by the Bo Dallas's in-ring work.
Yeah,
Like I loved Bo Dallas, but I loved the gimmick. I didn't love the worker. But now I'm very much impressed at how he's improved in his time off.
mm-hmm. He's been down there working with Steve Corino.
Clearly, or Joe Gacy's taught him a few things. Joe Gacy, the other guy, has been really impressive. In this situation.
they're all hitters. Like I always liked Rowan. I really liked the Bludgeon Brothers. Him and Luke Harper.
But it's like Dexter Loomis was never an in-ring guy. He was a gimmick guy.
He was a gimmick guy.
Joe Gacy was never a WWE guy. He was a CCW guy, and it showed in NXT. But now he's working that style really well.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's just this to me. This is always going to be like this. Will be until the bell.
I just had like a bunch of my neurons just fired, and I just came up with an idea. So this week on SmackDown, while Nick Aldis was being interviewed, you could see the Wyatt Six logo in the background. Now, I don't think they're going to Nick Aldis, but do you know who's on the SmackDown roster? Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, and Dexter Loomis is in the Wyatt Six. What if that's who they go after next?
You know what?
Because I don't think
throw in Theory too.
Throw in Theory too, yeah,
much.
Because he's with Waller. Like,
wait, but they're kind of on the
Smack,
verge.
but they're on
verge
SmackDown.
of breaking up too.
They're on the verge of breaking up too.
Yeah.
So like,
Waller breaks up with Theory.
or no, I think it has to be Theory turning on Waller.
Yeah.
Theory has to stay heel.
Theory turns on Waller, and then he's just
And then he's the next victim of the Wyatt Six.
found, which starts a thing.
What if it's not even the Wyatt Six? What if he's just attacked by Loomis? Like this is just Loomis tying up the loose ends of his family.
Yeah.
And Theory was the one who turned on that.
Yeah. You know what? I think Theory should be attacked by Loomis, and that should lead to Gargano Theory against Gacy Loomis.
Well, yeah,
Because
well,
with Rowan as like the scary man in the back.
With the thing with the Wyatt Six is they don't really have to be face or heel. They're kind of
they're
vigilantes.
They're
not.
It's what the Fiend should have been.
Yeah.
This gimmick is what the Fiend should have been.
They go after who they think deserves to be taken down.
Whoever's wronged them.
Yeah.
Whoever the big bad is to them.
Yeah.
That's just what it is, and that itself should be what
Loomis
they do.
may want to take that out on his former family.
It should start with Loomis. It should start just Loomis. But then Indy.
But what if it starts with Uncle Howdy and Austin Theory? And then because then that plays into maybe the Loomis Indy bit of it. Like I don't think Loomis should be the instigator because I think he should be just kind of caught up in
right.
it.
My thing is, I don't want to break up any member of the Wyatt Six because it just started, but I like this as like a point.
Yeah, like what if
this is
Theory is the next target that Uncle Howdy chooses? Like it's not like Uncle Howdy versus Theory 1-on-1.
Right.
It's like this is the next target we're choosing.
Right.
Another guy who turned on his family.
I think if they get the rest of the way involved,
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be like
The Way plus Ciampa.
the Way plus Ciampa. This is going to be the beginning of Loomis leaving, because eventually there's going to be a bit where they're attacking them,
Or
and Indy's there, and
is it
they stare at
Loomis
each other.
leaving, or is it Indy joining?
There's not another character in the Wyatt thing you can do.
Oh, because you have a number. You have a specific number.
Yeah.
God, this stupid name. The stupid name with the specific number.
Well, if just 5 guys,
Just
could do
5
it.
guys. It's the Wyatt 7 now.
It's the Wyatt.
7 and the V is a 7.
Yeah, okay, that works. It's the Wyatt 7. Get Dustin Rhodes on the phone.
Oh no. Oh no. What have we done?
Take a look at this crap.
Cody, watch out. The other big segment here. I mean, it's not the other big segment because that was a match, but the big segment on Raw. We had Bret Hart in Calgary show up for Raw, and he was confronted by Gunther.
Oh God. This is actually gonna be one of the very rare parts I put a promo on my top things of the week.
Yes.
Because I love this promo so much.
Well, go ahead and break it down.
So they're talking and just like, you're my favorites. You know, the best ever is, the best ever was. That was you. The best ever is me, and also the best ever will be. Like, you know, getting some cheap heat off of them. And Gunther, with the greatest cheap heat line of all time, says that Bret Hart is number 2, and I'm amazed that years ago, this would have set Bret off into an unsolvable tangent of him yelling about how much he hates Bill Goldberg.
Set him into a fiery rage.
It's just there's a story of a guy smoking with Bret Hart, and he says he wouldn't shut up about Bill Goldberg. He got high, and all he could think about was Goldberg ruining his career.
But yeah, Gunther says that Bill Goldberg.
Gunther says his favorite is Bill Goldberg, and this got me
all
so
know that
good.
Kenta Kobashi was his favorite wrestler.
I mean, it's Bill Goldberg is tied to Kenta Kobashi in
the Gunther power rankings.
In the Gunther power rankings, clearly.
But then Sami Zayn comes out and cuts like an impassionate Sami Zayn baby.
Sami Zayn in a Johnny Gaudreau sweater. Mm-hmm. Rest in peace, Johnny.
There was
Gaudreau.
a very touching tribute to Johnny Gaudreau, which actually this is because I don't know anything about hockey. I didn't realize he was like a guy. Like
he was a dog.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was a dog.
He
apparently was pretty awesome.
He was really good. He was really good with Calgary. He left a random hockey tangent here. He was good with Calgary. He left to join Columbus like 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And he got ran over by a drunk driver. And
so is he currently with the Columbus Blue Jackets when he passed away? Oh, okay.
He was only 30. He was about.
Well, I knew he was an active player, but I didn't know if he was currently with the Blue Jackets or if he went back to Calgary.
He was with the Blue Jackets. It was like his second year in the Blue Jackets. Would have been. He was their star player too. He was their best player they had.
Yeah, I didn't
by
realize
far.
He was such a star.
You know, he was the best player.
How big of a deal this was. But yeah, but it was a touch. They had Jackie Redmond do a piece, and it was a really good tribute to Johnny Gaudreau. But yeah, so Sami Zayn comes out wearing that jersey, which is just babyface of babyfaces.
I mean, there's no.
It was going to be him or Punk. Like one of those two babyfaces was going to be the one.
I'm kind of surprised Punk didn't
Flames.
do it
Well,
either.
Punk wasn't even on the show this week.
That's right.
So.
I mean, if he was, he probably would have.
He was back in Chicago in his Connor Bedard jersey. Is that his name? Connor Bedard?
Yeah. I mean, probably.
What's Bedard's first name?
Connor.
Okay, I was making sure.
So,
I wasn't like mixing Connor McDavid and Bedard into one person.
They had the same first name.
2 Connors. Got it.
So it was a great promo. Sammy Gunther, this build up has been really fun.
And Sammy just like being like, you were the first great Canadian champion, and like I am the next great Canadian champion.
I mean, he's just the top. There's nobody more over in Canada, and that drip feed of over in Canada, always leads to just being over in America. Mm-hmm. So he's their top face in Raw. Yeah. It's a long time coming, but he's the top face in Raw. And why is Kevin Owens on SmackDown? Those two should be tied by like the ankle. They should be on the same brand forever.
They're on SmackDown so that eventually, when they are back together, it's you take them up. You split them up so that the reunion tour sells more T-shirts. The longer they're apart, the more T-shirts you sell when they're back together, either as opponents or as
and the inevitable match.
Yeah,
that's overdue.
It's always overdue. If it's been a month since we've seen Sammy versus Kevin, it's overdue.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And then we saw a number one contenders 4-way. Jey Uso beats Braun Strowman, Ilya Dragunov, and Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne and Ilya Dragunov tried to kill each other in this match.
Great.
My
favorites.
My favorite part of this match, just before we really get into like the winner and what happened, Braun Strowman doing his run around the ring spot, but he's going to take out all three guys. Jey Uso barely takes any contact and just falls down. Classically Jey Uso, right? Ilya Dragunov throws himself into Braun Strowman. He gets more in Braun Strowman's way and jumps up at Braun Strowman to take it. And then Pete Dunne takes it and throws himself almost over the barricade. Just right into the barricade.
Braun is another one of those guys who I've always liked, but the improvement he's made in the past, like, I don't know, like 6 months.
For me, ever since he left the Wyatt family, he's been pretty boring, except for I get super hyped for this locomotive run around the ring spot.
Yeah, I love that bit. I love that bit
that.
so much. SummerSlam 2017, the Lesnar, Joe, Braun, Reigns.
Yeah.
My favorite like 4-way match of all time for a title. Holy crap, that is the best spot for that.
Yeah. So then Jey Uso ultimately wins the match.
Yeet.
So we're going to get Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker.
That's fine. All things considered, it's not what I wanted, but it's fine.
This is only a problem if Jey Uso wins.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. And ultimately what I took out of this is that we need Ilya versus Pete Dunne one-on-one. And we need it for an hour.
Yeah.
Because it was awesome whenever they were interacting. Like, you could see, like, the energy in the building, like, doubled as soon as, like, Ilya and Pete Dunne locked eyes. And you, like, knew, oh, this is about to go down. Like, it was insane. But that's kind of all for Raw. On the SmackDown front, we had Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa in what was a pretty good cage match.
A solid match for Solo.
Nothing insane, but it was solid. I like Cody Rhodes got some color on the SmackDown premiere on USA. And then Roman Reigns comes out because the new bloodline start beating up on Cody. And ultimately, throughout the night, we end up setting up Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes at Bad Blood. What are your thoughts on this tag team match?
I think it's a good tag team match. Sorry, I just saw a really funny team, Taka Michinoku. Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty good. You know, all things considered. WWE's been on fire recently.
Solo Sikoa is just so boring, dude.
I know.
Because, like, the other thing that happened this week with the Bloodline is that Jacob Fatu and the Grills of Destiny showed up on NXT looking like absolute killers.
Yeah.
Just infinite aura versus Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa, he sucks the charisma out of everything around him.
Minus Jacob Fatu. Because Jacob Fatu is like a charisma machine. No matter, he may have scammed those charities, yes, but he's still like the best wrestler that has had in a while.
Look at how much better Jacob Fatu looks
without Solo. Yeah, no, he does.
Exactly. He is actively hampering.
If you've never seen, if you've only seen him with Solo, do yourself a favor, go subscribe to Chiller Plus right now. Pause the podcast. Go subscribe to Chiller Plus. It's like $8 a month. Find yourself like any match of Jacob and Zilla Fatu, and watch how much better it is.
Or if you don't want to spend any money, on YouTube for free, Jacob Fatu versus Alex Hammerstone 40-minute match.
That's also a good one.
In MLW.
That
is almost undisputedly the best MLW match they've ever put on. So
probably.
Yeah, so if you don't want to spend any money, go watch the Jacob Fatu Alex Hammerstone match. What? Oh wow, Taka Michinoku, dude. So I guess I don't know. I'm just not super excited for that. But the thing that everyone's been excited about out of SmackDown. What are your thoughts on Ricky?
Listen,
I think they missed an opportunity here, and I will explain that. But give your thoughts.
Ricky, I first thought when I saw his full ring name was Robert Gibson's like son,
or like nephew or third cousin.
And I was already booking like Kerry Morton, Ricky Gibson like NXT run. Now that I know he's not related to Robert Gibson,
it would make it even funnier.
It would make it really funnier. But I have a funny feeling this isn't gonna be the last we see of him.
This is going to be the last that we see.
No, it won't be the last we see of him.
Yeah, it's going to be a James Ellsworth situation.
About to wrestle at FTR.
Mm-hmm.
If he does good there,
He's one half of the. I think I saw he was one half of the longest reigning Defy tag team champions.
he's with Defy Prestige.
He's in a tag team called like the Midnight Heat, which by the way, awesome team name.
Great name.
Midnight Heat. I don't know. I really liked this. I thought it was fun, but they missed an opportunity. They should have made him a Titantron that said Ricky, because then the whole crowd would have freaked out and thought it was Ricky Starks. and then it's just this bald guy walks out in like bright blue tights.
That I think would have ruined the Ellsworth situation that they're gonna build on this here.
Mm-hmm.
But that'd have been really funny. That should have been what they
It
did.
would've been.
You're right.
It would have been. But it was still fun. And then ultimately, instead of Ricky, which would have been interesting, Kevin Owens had the most boring tag team partner possible, and that's Randy Orton. Not because Randy Orton's bad. I love Randy Orton. I think he's probably the greatest of all time, in my opinion. He's just, we all knew it was going to be Randy.
Yeah.
So, hell, it would have been more fun if it was like Shinsuke. Like, it doesn't have to be like John Cena or The Undertaker or something. Like, if it was like Shinsuke or, I don't know, just anybody, not Randy Orton, it would have been at least interesting. You know what I mean? Who did, let me look it up now. Who did Kevin Owens team with in that one NXT War Games match when he randomly came back?
The Faces.
Well, the Faces, obviously. He teamed
it
with
was against the
Ciampa,
Authors of
Keith Lee, and
Pain.
Dijakovic.
I guess. What if
it was Ciampa? Was randomly his tag team partner? That would have been awesome. I don't know.
Dijak comes back for one night.
Dijak one night only. I don't know. I thought it would have been fun. Ultimately, SmackDown was a pretty good show. I thought it was a pretty good week on WWE and AEW TV. So let's move on and let's decide what were our favorite things of the week. If you are new here, this is where Shane hands out the bronze, silver, and gold handshakes, and I hand out the bronze, silver, and gold hot dogs for our favorite things that we saw this week. Shane, let's start off with you. What is the bronze handshake?
The Gunther Brett promo.
Okay. So, Gunther, Brett, and Sammy. I'm going to go with the Casino Gauntlet bronze. I think I've said it multiple times before. I think pretty much any time they do one of these matches, it's going to end up in my top 3. So it was really fun. I'm going to go with the Casino Gauntlet for my bronze hot dog. What is the silver handshake?
I'm going to give it to the Raw 4-way.
The 4-way?
Yeah.
So Jey Uso, Ilya Dragunov, Pete Dunne, and Braun Strowman. I'm going to give the silver hot dog to a different Raw match that we didn't really talk about that I thought was very good. Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor. Really loved that match this week. Thought it was great. Thought Rey looked really good. And, of course, Balor always looks good. And for the number one here, what is the gold handshake?
FTR Grizzly Young Vets.
That's the same for me. FTR versus Grizzly Young Veterans. That was an awesome tag team match. Main event of Collision. Really loved that match. Exactly what I wanted from those two. Moving on to the lightning round, this is where I will tell Shane what matches we are getting this week on TV, and he will give me a score on a scale of 1 to 10 based on how excited he is for the match. Starting off with Raw, starting off hot, we have Zoe Stark versus Natalya.
A 5.
Wow, anything higher than a 3 is the wrong answer. Damian Priest versus Dominic Mysterio.
6.
6.
Because I know how it's going to end.
Yeah. Certified sirloin beefsteak match. Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman.
7.
When are we going to get the Braun Strowman, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed 3-way? We need a Triple H. Book it. And then for the World Tag Team titles, Finn Balor and JD McDonough versus The New Day.
I would say an 8.
Percentage chance The New Day wins this match.
I'm going to say 50.
I was going to say, it feels kind of 50-50 for me. I think this could really go either way. Maybe slightly in the Judgment Day's favor, just give them a little champion's advantage bump. But, yeah. On Dynamite, we have Queen Aminata and Yuka Sakazaki versus Serena Deeb and Mariah May. Women's tag team action.
A 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy.
I don't know.
Are you excited for this Chris Jericho Orange Cassidy feud to ultimately go until Double or Nothing?
No.
Then we have the Elite, Kazuchika Okada, and the Young Bucks versus Will Ospreay. And representing the Don Callis family, we have Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita. So Okada, the Bucks, Ospreay, Fletcher, Takeshita. That'd be my Ty Dillinger 10 of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give it a 10.
Then we get a 10. On SmackDown, we have Bayley and Naomi versus Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. Nia Jax said that if Bayley and Naomi win this match, whoever gets the win will get a shot at her title. But if they lose, whoever takes the loss, the pin or submission, will be fired from SmackDown. Will leave SmackDown forever.
I'm going to give it a 6.
It's a lot of gimmick for one match. And then LA Knight defending the U.S. title against Andrade.
A 7.
And our final match here on Collision, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara defending the Ring of Honor tag titles against the Kingdom in a bunkhouse brawl in Massachusetts.
An 8.
Okay. Pretty high for a Kingdom match.
Well,
How do you?
It's
It's Dustin Rhodes in a bunkhouse brawl. It's going to be good.
I trust.
Yep. Our match recommendation of the week here, since the Motor City Machine Guns have been in all the headlines this week, I had Shane pick a match, and go ahead and what.
So it's just from a TNA Impact, but it is one of the better impacts. It's also one of the better matches of theirs. It is a 2 out of 3 falls to finish the best of 5 series, the 5th match in the series. Beer Money MCMG. It's probably on TNA streaming service.
Yep. It's from August 9th, 2010, if you're looking for it. So yeah, Motor City Machine Guns versus Beer Money Inc. If you don't know, that's Bobby Roode and James Storm in a 2 of 3 falls match. If you're looking for more of us, we do have classic reviews. I wasn't able to get the Victory Road review up over this past weekend. I will be trying to get that put up tonight. And then WrestleMania 12 will come out later this week. So we'll have 2 this week, even though because we haven't had some the last couple of weeks. So look out for those. We have other reviews to go back on in the archive here, and I couldn't really come up with a poll this week, so we'll just skip the poll this week and see what happens next week. Once again, just thanks for listening, and remember to enjoy wrestling.